There are strange things out there that seem to have no explanation. Sometimes they are conjured up by the darkest corners of our subconscious, but on occasion they dwell beyond the confines of our imagination. They may come from another realm, or out of the sky, or from beyond the grave. Once they set foot into our world, the line between dreams and reality becomes unclear. It's our job to investigate these reports and compile the Virginia Paranormal Case Files.
I don't really know where to start, but when we moved into the apartment, I always felt like there was like a heavy presence in the room. Like the room just like felt dark, even when it wasn't dark. So, and then I have security cameras in the room, and there was this one like orb that I knew wasn't dust just because of the way that it was moving. So after that, we kept seeing them more and more, the same thing. And then finally I saged, I think 2 days I saged, and it just started getting worse as far as like the activity goes. But anyways, my daughter always says that something is living in her wall, and it also comes under the bed too.
Is this thing already on?
Oh.
Yep.
Okay. All right, let's see. So it currently says 86 in here. I'm expecting that to sort of adjust because we just came from outside. So I'm imagining that the temperature's going to slowly start to fall a little bit.
Two, one, two, one, two. Five, six, five, four, five, 3, 4, 5.
And they said also too, the spirits go under their bed.
Okay.
But under this bed right
This
here,
went up to
like
6,
this bed, the
9.
K2 meter last time was going crazy on top of my son's bed.
0.9.
Hmm.
Now it went back down to 4.
So this wall actually adjoins another apartment, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So you do have another apartment
I
on the
know,
other
yeah.
side.
So it could,
6.
who knows?
Yeah, I mean that's the bad thing about apartments
Yeah.
too. You don't know what those people are doing over there. You know.
I don't think that anybody lives there on the bottom though. I'm pretty sure they moved out.
Yeah.
But yeah, like even before and
Right.
stuff. And
Oh yeah.
you don't
yeah.
know what that apartment holds.
Oh
over
yeah,
there,
and it could have been something that happened 15 years ago in
Yeah.
that apartment. And
Well,
we just
see,
never would know.
My husband, he's a cop for Newport News, so in
Mhm.
the system he actually searched this address and nothing popped up. So
Yeah.
yeah, I don't think.
Well,
like
as
it
far
was-
as deaths and stuff, that's
Yeah.
good. But they
Yeah.
still could have been playing with a Ouija board over there.
Yeah.
You know, there's
Or even stuff maybe happened before this was even Forest
right.
Lake. Like
yeah,
it could have
before
just
it
been
was even
before.
here. Yeah, that's right. So we have to drop
So
down.
Jeff, this is what I'm looking at right there.
You said you have a drop?
Yeah, it's point
Yeah, it's
.5.
It was already
That'll
at
keep
about
the peak,
86
the high
degrees
point
when
in
we
there.
walked in because it's warm outside.
Sure.
So I expected it to start dropping, and it is.
Is it
So-
just because the air conditioning? Because the unit's right
Yeah.
there.
Yeah, it'll start dropping a little bit because it's definitely not 86 degrees inside the house here. It's
Yeah.
probably going to drop down to, I'd say maybe 72 is what it feels like at the most. But it is dropping. But I haven't had any significant drops, and certainly the carbon monoxide detector has not gone off. So the reason I pointed out the fact that we have this this panel box on the wall over here is because this is the wall where it said that the spirits come from in the middle of the night. These kids see them kind of coming and going through this wall. You know, it is theorized that high electromagnetic fields give these things an opportunity to manifest. So if that's the case, then they certainly would have the opportunity to manifest here, more than they would in any other part of the apartment, because this is the highest point of electromagnetic fields in the apartment. The room definitely has a different feeling than the rest of the apartment. It has kind of a heavier feeling, a little bit more, I don't know, just a little more uneasy than the
Yeah.
rest of the
Like
apartment.
yeah, exactly.
You know, I wouldn't say that I would be scared in there, like, you know, something dark, but it definitely is different than the rest of the apartment is.
So what we're going to do now is a sweep with the K2 meter, because this is one of the devices where Jack, when he came through and did initial investigation, he got some spikes on the K2 meter. So we're going to compare with this as well, do a baseline sweep, see where the spikes are initially. And this does tend to go off a little more
It does.
than the tri-field meter.
It seems a little more sensitive.
Yeah.
And we do have thunder.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see if that kind of charges anything.
That's right.
Oh my gosh.
So we're getting a little bit of fluctuation right here over top of the recliner.
Yeah, I always see stuff behind me there. Like, see, I have the security camera right there,
Mhm.
and you can't like see the chair in the security camera.
Yeah.
But whatever comes from that wall and goes right here, like you can certainly see it then.
Mm. There is a little bit of a little energy coming from the security camera itself. Nothing from the light switch, but we do have an outlet down here as well, which is not producing any energy. But that recliner right there, and it's funny that it's right at the head of the recliner.
Yeah,
Is this specifically your recliner?
that
or
was
is
my
it-
mom's.
Is it?
She bought it brand new. Yeah.
Do you sit here most often, or does your husband?
No, I said there.
Okay. Okay. I'd be curious because they're the same recliners.
No, it's not one.
Nothing. Maybe a little bit there. Yeah.
It's odd. She bought them brand new, so they weren't like.
And it's only in certain places. They don't have any electrical mechanisms that, or anything, do they?
No.
They just. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, it's fluctuating a little bit. It's never gone above the yellow though. Let's try over here in the corner.
Yeah, whenever we had that K2 meter sitting on my son's bed, the last time that he was over here, and he was talking to it, it went all the way to the red. I was sitting on top of the dresser, and then you could see a spirit come from behind me on that wall, and then go onto the floor. Like, this was huge. I saw it twice, and this was a week ago. I should show you guys the video of that too.
And have you noticed any pattern to the activity? Does it seem like it occurs on certain days, or when the weather is a certain way outside,
No,
or anything of that nature?
I see it when, like, mostly when my kids are in their room,
Mm-hmm.
or in the house. They can be in the house too, because that day he was over here, they were in the house. They just weren't in the
Oh.
bedroom with us. But when they're here, or like I said, when my mom's here,
Yeah.
but she is very intuitive and like,
Yeah.
so she sees stuff all the time.
Well, and if she's a little bit sensitive, that sort of thing is often passed down from the maternal side of the family.
Yeah.
So you could have a little bit of that yourself, but without a whole lot of experience with it, it may just be that you haven't, I guess, experienced it enough
Yeah.
to realize that, what you're capable of feeling.
Yeah.
So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, that it could be they're attracted to you a little bit.
Yeah, I would say so. I feel like they are.
Okay, we're back here in the back bedroom where a lot of the activity has happened, and we have a couple of devices here on the bed. We've got a motion sensor, K2 meter on this bed, another K2 meter on this bed, and then the tri-field meter over here. And I'm also going to activate the REM pod, and we're going to set this on one of the beds as well. And this device, the way it works, if something comes near it, it'll light up and the pitch will change as it gets closer. Okay, Linda's also going to activate the spirit box, and she's going to listen to the headphones so she won't be biased by the questions. Now, when we first set this up, sometimes it takes a minute to get acclimated to the humidity change, so that's why it'll go off at first. So give it about a minute to adapt, and then we'll start asking for some responses through it.
I haven't seen it do that before, I have to say. Normally it'll it's once or twice, like as it acclimates.
Could it be because of the AC?
Usually the AC doesn't set it off. We've tried all kinds
What's
of
the
things.
humidity in this room? I have the thing right here.
Do you?
Yeah.
Stay over here so that way. Babe, stand over here so you're not setting the sensor off.
55%.
Oh, you can't set it off. You have to be up against it. Like you have to literally be an inch away from the antenna to be able to set the thing off.
Oh, I meant that thing over there.
Oh, okay,
too.
yeah. No, that's before we start the spirit box. Do you want to see if it'll communicate with this?
We could try
It
it.
seems-
We could try it. I'm Jeff.
I'm Linda.
I'm Will.
Renee?
I'm Jack.
I'm Christian.
And we'd like to know if there's anybody else here with us. If there is, that little red light on that device on the bed, if you come near that red light, it'll light up and let us know that you're here. Can you come near that device for us, please?
Could be the light in the room too. Sometimes the light in the room will make it hard to
It was
adjust.
just a second.
If you try zooming in and zooming back out again and seeing if
I'd have to go with the change in climate when we came in here.
Yeah.
Was that why the light go off?
I don't know why the light went off. What's the range on that?
Nobody's close enough, right?
Range is like, I think it's like a foot.
Oh, really? So none of us should be setting it off from
No.
here, right?
No.
Oh, there's the REM pod going off.
So it went from the sensor to the REM pod.
It's definitely a delayed response on there.
Well, it could just be that it's kind of feeling around and seeing what these things are and, kind of messing with them.
Right.
Okay, Junior's spiking a little bit.
Okay, anything that could be setting that off.
I mean, the closest
And you
thing
say
is-
that's only a foot range on that light?
Yeah, should be.
Yeah, I mean, the
You already
closest
gotta
thing
get close to
well,
it.
Yeah, but you were on the side of it. I thought the whole thing, the circle part, if you're even beside it, it goes off.
I mean, you could test the light. You could walk up to it and see, wave your hands and see how close you can get.
Could anything else be setting that box off?
The REM pod?
Yeah.
No, we've tried CB radios, we've tried everything. We've tried cell phones,
Why does it keep like going off?
A walkie-talkie is the only thing else that we find that will set it off if there's a handheld radio that's activated
Yeah,
within the proximity of it.
but the
Well,
chances of that here,
You want to move the stuff off the bed because my kids do have a tablet on the bed. I don't know if that.
No, there ain't nothing to do with
Okay.
it.
yeah.
No, the
tablet
tablet
should-
won't have anything
The
to do
only
with it.
radio in the house is mine for work, but that's
Yeah.
off, and that's in my room.
The tablet would maybe affect the tri-field meter,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not. It's barely going up. So that's normal. That little fluctuation that we have on the tri-field meter right there, 0.1, 0.2, that's normal throughout any location. That's the natural electromagnetic fields that'll be in the air.
Sure.
But the REM pod itself, like I said, from what we've found, about a 10% change in humidity, or if there's a handheld radio that's activated, probably at least in this vicinity of it.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was in a different room, it probably wouldn't even set it off.
plus it's not just the handheld radio being on, it's when you actually
Actually
push
keyed,
the,
actually keying the mic.
Yeah.
Shouldn't that machine though, the energy field of it, like go up too as that thing's going off, or?
No, not necessarily, because the energy that picks up is an electromagnetic field.
Uh-huh.
That's just a theory. We don't even know that spirits give off an electromagnetic
Sure.
field.
Sure.
That's just one of the measures of the atmosphere that we keep track of.
Sure.
But the REM pod is more of just a proximity meter, like you have to come close to it to set it off.
Yeah, you have to basically break that signal that it's putting out.
It was
Well, I
just your
think it's just
theory,
constant.
Yeah, that's crazy. The thing that focuses right here,
Mhm.
this is like even bouncing. When that went
Oh,
off,
yeah.
it went around it.
So that light,
I don't know what that means.
we're not
Yeah.
setting
I
off
don't
that
know what that
light
means either.
either.
Yeah.
As
Maybe
you can
anything.
see, like nowhere. Well, maybe
I
we
think
are.
outside.
Could be.
Maybe it's a shadow.
Yeah, because your shadow, the only source of light is over here, so your
Yeah, but-
shadow should be over there.
The light's still going on. Kind of.
Well, give it a minute to reset and go back over there and try it again. See if you're moving around.
It's
at the end
been-
of the bed.
That's Jack's light.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if he's put fresh battery. It's been faulty
Is it jacked up?
in the past.
Only that one time though. No, it was working. He left it overnight for me, and
Right.
I could not get it to go off. at all. I put new
Wow.
batteries in it and stuff. It honestly works just fine. It's just the one time it stopped working.
Well, I'm not
I don't
setting
know
it
what I
off
mean.
waving my hand right here.
I need a new camera battery. Do you guys mind
But-
if I step out for a second?
No, go ahead,
Okay.
yeah.
I don't
But
want
it
I'm
comes
not setting it
on.
off.
It comes on when you move in front of it, though.
Yeah.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Okay, because it's not, yeah, it's just staying.
So Linda's going to be listening through the headphones, so she won't hear our questions. Therefore, she won't be biased. Whatever answer she hears come across, she'll blurt that out, and we'll see if there's a direct correlation there. I'm Jeff.
Just remember not to say the questions too loud.
And I'm Jay.
I'm Renee.
And I'm Will.
And this is Linda with the headphones on here. We'd like to know, aside from the 5 of us that are in this room, if there's anybody else here with us, could you please tell us your name?
That two-syllable word, it almost sounded like Michael.
Michael. So that's interesting. She heard a name and that's what I asked for.
I just got chills.
Did you hear Michael too?
I got chills.
Michael, could you tell us why you are here? I'm going to try to ask questions that don't require a whole sentence for an answer, in case all it's capable of doing is putting across one word. Michael, did you used to live in this apartment? Did you live anywhere on this land?
My stomach in case picks it up. Stomach rumbling. Not something.
Possibly a response. How many years have you been here?
Wake up. Bye. There's like a little kid's voice that keeps coming through every so often, but I can't understand what it says. It doesn't sound like music.
And my daughter said she sees a little boy too.
Can you tell us how you died?
If I'm speaking with the little boy, can you tell me where your parents are? Now that both of these devices are off, can you let me know which bed do you like more? Do you like the pink one or do you like the blue one? Whichever one you like more, keep that light on.
That was interesting timing. wasn't it?
Can you do that for me one more time? Can you make the light stay on for the bed that you like the most? Do you like the pink one or the blue one?
It almost looks like it's saying that one. I don't know. Like I said, definitely some interesting. Jeez. Some interesting stuff coming across that spirit box too. Come to think of it, like sound.
Okay, if you like the pink bed, every time I talk about the pink, that one turns off. If you like the pink bed, are you a boy or are you a girl? Here, see a little girl toy and a little boy toy? Place whichever
You want
one
something smaller?
Probably. Whichever one, like a girl toy on the pink bed, boy toy on the blue bed. See whichever one they like more.
There's a baby doll in the bed.
Is
Will
there a
that
baby
work?
doll? Okay. Baby doll, and then is there a boy toy?
Should we cut the spirit box again? Will we try this? Linda, let's cut that. Let's go ahead and cut that so we can try this experiment here.
Do you think that maybe you're setting the sensor off? That one? Because that thing's weird.
Yeah, that one kept coming. But that one's been coming on the whole time we've been in here, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think maybe it's one of us that are setting that one off? I don't, obviously not that one, but
I don't
I don't
know.
know.
Is that the light or?
I thought it goes off at a pretty good distance.
Because with those last two questions, I mean, it was pretty
Yeah.
Yeah, that
time
was,
accurate.
Straight.
that was pretty good.
That was straightforward.
So I placed 2 toys on the beds. The first toy is a little baby doll on the pink bed. On the blue bed, what looks like a dinosaur. If you like the baby doll on the pink bed, make the REM pod go from red to green. Just touch it. If you like the dinosaur on the blue bed, touch the light. Make it turn from red to green. If you don't like either toy, turn that light from red to green. Nothing.
If you like them both the same, turn that light from red to green.
You don't think it's getting confused with the lights, do you?
You think it is?
I just, for some reason, I feel like this is a kid.
If you like the baby doll, come near that red light that's near the baby doll.
Depending on the age of the kid, it might get confused.
If you like if you like this doll right here, come near it and touch it.
So we've tried this before at another house where the closet seems to be a sort of portal for entities to be able to travel between this world and ours. So possibly the closet could be seen as that same way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into the closet with the REM pod, voice recorder, and see if we can be able to get any sort of reactions with the light, or if I can be able to get a voice through the voice recorder. In the meantime, Jeff, Linda, rest of the gang, you're going to be out in the living room doing an EVP session, probably a spirit box session as well. Okay. My name is Will, and in front of me I have a voice recorder. With that, you can talk into it, you can say your name, you can say anything you want. It will hear you.
And then in front of me is a red light. If you come close to the red light, see how it lights up and makes noise? It won't hurt you. But if you touch it, it'll go off. So, if there's anyone here with me, come in here. Let's play. Come to that red light and touch it and make it turn colors. Come to that light and make it turn green. Thank you. Okay, now turn it off. Thank you. Now, in that voice recorder, my name is Will. Say your name. How old are you? Wow. I'm 25. I'm kind of old. Do you like playing with the kids? Do you guys have a good time? Okay, let's play a game. If the answer is yes, I want you to touch that light, okay? And if the answer is no, I want you to not touch it. So, if you're still here with me, touch that light and make it turn green.
It's possible that there is another EVP session going on in the next room. It's Jeff, Linda, and the rest of the people that live here. They are doing an EVP session, and so what could be happening is that the spirit is going over with them and kind of going back and forth between me and them. So I'm not expecting to get a response every single time. It's not as creepy in here as it was that other place. I am interested to see if we get anything on the voice recorder, though.
I want to know who I'm speaking with. If I'm speaking to a child, touch that red light for me. Make it turn green. If I'm speaking to a teenager, touch that light and make it turn green. If I'm speaking to an adult, touch that light and make it turn green.
We're out here in the living room. I'm Jeff.
I'm Will.
I'm Renee.
And we're here, we're trying to find out who it is that's been seen on the cameras. There's little cameras up here in the corner of the room. And we've seen somebody walking around in here. Could you tell us where you come from?
Did you once have a chair, just one sitting here now, and you think it's yours?
We have this same device that we had back in the bedroom where if you come near it, it'll light up. Can you use that to let us know that you're here? Just come near that red light for us. Are you looking for a child? Are you looking for a friend?
So out in the living room here, it really sounded like most of what was coming through the spirit box was radio stations. There was only one or two instances where I thought I heard like the little child's voice that I had heard in the other room, which I kind of find particularly notable because a lot of times children are not radio disc jockeys, you know. But this is one of those instances where it seemed really quiet, especially compared to what was going on in the bedroom.
Linda was saying that the activity was really quiet, and the REM pod, since it's been out here, has not gone off once. While in there, it would go off what seemed like sporadically and also intelligently. So it's really interesting that even with the humidity and everything else that we think might have set it off in the bedroom, it's not affecting it the same way out here.
I've caught a lot of activity, of course, using a K2 meter and my sensor in the children's bedroom is where I get most of the activity. I didn't get much in the living room. I sat here at least for hours along with my niece, little Renee, and we didn't catch much. But most of the activity seemed to be in the little children's room, so I feel that the children may have given the spirit energy to manifest and have the children see, the spirit. That's what I get out of it.
That's a good point, because if it sees the children, if itself is a child, it's something
Yes.
it can relate to and they can
Yes.
play with.
Because they got a lot of energy.
Mm-hmm. Well, like an adult, they would be kind of scared.
Right.
To come
That's what
approach
I'm
it
saying.
and everything.
I believe it's shy around adults.
Right. That was a good question.
What we're going to do now is try this sensory deprivation experiment, where we have Linda put on these headphones, listen to some white noise that's pumped through them so she won't hear any of our questions, and she's going to wear a blindfold at the same time. And she's going to kind of act as a receiver, and we're going to see what kind of impression she gets, what kind of visions pop into her head, and see if there's any direct response to the questions that I ask. We'd like to know if there's anybody here with us. If there is, could you please tell Linda if you're a male or a female? What do you look like? Can you come and stand near Linda's left side for us, please? Her left-hand side.
I feel like I'm seeing into the other apartment that adjoins this one. And the layout is almost exact, like a mirror image of this one. But there's something about the closet in that apartment, like an object in there or something inside that closet that was placed there about 10 years ago that has some significance. Something small like a coin. Maybe jewelry. I think it was a teenage boy that placed it there. Tall, slender, kind of dark hair. For some reason, people have moved in and out of that apartment and haven't ever found it. And I feel like there's a playground somewhere nearby where the kids are playing and one of them falls forward and bangs her face on the ground, gets a bloody nose.
Give Linda a description of yourself or some other spirit that travels here.
I can feel like maybe the maintenance manager here is an African American man, maybe in his 50s. Not sure why I'm seeing him or what significance he has. I don't think I like him. There's something secret about him. I can't really tell what his secret is, but he's into some sort of criminal activity, but it's not, he's never been caught.
You sold drugs and the deal went sour?
For some reason I see balloons. Somebody let go of some balloons and they're rising up in the air. And this man is standing there watching. It's like the little kid is upset because he lost his balloons. But the man's sitting there laughing like he takes pleasure from other people's pain.
Get Linda away from the maintenance man, the party, to show that you're here, to show that she can actually see the things that you're putting in her mind. Give her a particular color or a mood.
There is a little girl here. Maybe 5 years old.
If you're here, can you come and stand by the window?
She's got a dress on that's got a lot of pink on it. Long kind of sandy blonde hair. When I ask her where she's from, she points across the lake, across the pond.
What does the little girl want?
She likes the kids' toys. I feel like there's something over here, maybe on the end of the boy's bed. I don't know what it is, but it's something significant.
That's me. She's right.
Don't feed Jeff Seco.
So I've decided I don't like the maintenance guy. And I'm not even positive that that's who it is, but I recognize the maintenance uniform. That's sort of a uniform that they would wear in apartment complexes. And he's just not a good person whatsoever. He's just kind of a creepy guy. Not that he's ever really specifically done anything to make people have a reason to fire him or to get rid of him. He does his job. He carries out his job. It's just his personality. There's something about him that people just don't like around here. But I of course I don't know anything about the maintenance on the property or what the situation is. I'm not sure exactly why I saw the child, and I think it might have been one of your kids that fell. It's like stumbled and fell on a playground, fell forward, like tripped on something, I guess is what it is. And there was somebody that like he hurt their face or something. I don't know. And it might not have even been her. It might have just been a child on the playground out there. But that's when I kind of started seeing this African American gentleman. I'm not sure whether he was sitting there watching at the time when this happened, but I don't know, some very random things. Again, kind of strange when you see these things and don't know like what context, that they come from or what the case is. But
Well, there's some interesting stuff there in the sensory deprivation experiment. Now, I tried to get this spirit to establish lines of communication by going over by the window and then having Linda say, "Oh, it's over by the window," like has happened in the past. But that didn't seem to happen. I held this dinosaur in my hand and asked, "What object am I holding? Can you tell her what object I'm holding?" That didn't happen. So there wasn't any kind of correlation between the questions we seemed to be asking and what she was saying. But it is interesting. As you mentioned, you do have a maintenance guy that fits the description of who she was talking about. And also, the playground is over by the maintenance shack. So, perhaps there's something there. Very interesting. Welcome to the evidence room. We're going to do a little debrief about this investigation that we had out there in Newport News at an apartment. Now, as we always say, with an apartment complex, you'd be surprised how many are actually haunted, how many reports we get that come from an apartment complex, because it's not just what goes on in your unit, it's what other people in some of the other apartments may be doing.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of cases where it seemed that one of the neighbors perhaps brought something back with them, and it was traveling through the complex. I've gotten calls where several people in the same complex were experiencing activity.
That's right. It just seems to travel from place to place, and you never know whether your neighbor is playing with an Ouija board or whether they're doing witchcraft of some other sort, and you know, it's just kind of up in the air. You know, I'll probably never live in an apartment again because of our experiences with them.
Absolutely. Now, let me ask you, you went over the audio for this investigation.
I did.
And what were the results?
Actually, there was not much of anything. I was kind of surprised. We didn't get any EVPs. We got very few spirit box responses that sounded like they were, you know, related to what we were talking about and what we were asking about. Actually, I think the most interesting part of the whole investigation was, of course, the whole sensory deprivation thing. Not necessarily because anything could be validated, but more because it's just an interesting thing, you know.
Absolutely. Now, kind of piggybacking on that, of course, there's a lot of times where you don't get audio evidence.
Right.
It's not guaranteed that you're going to walk into a place and get some audio evidence.
Yes.
A lot of the responses that come through the spirit box, when we listen to them, if they don't sound like they're related, or they sound like radio chatter, if there's that more than comfortable room for doubt there, it's probably not going to make it into an evidence folder.
It. Yeah.
Absolutely. But the sensory deprivation experiment was definitely interesting. And I remember during that time, you kind of honed in on a caretaker.
Yeah, a maintenance worker or maintenance supervisor of some sort.
A maintenance supervisor.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say to some people that might say or ask, is that evidence that there's something going on there because you saw this while you were doing the sensory deprivation experiment?
No, because for one thing, you know, it can't be considered evidence because there was nothing related to hauntings, I guess, or the paranormal. This was just sort of one of those feelings that came through. Now, of course, sometimes those feelings can be validated and other times they can't. I remember there was one particular bit of information where she said that the park, the kids' playground, was right next to the maintenance office, and the man would often stand out there and watch the kids play. So there was, you know, little things like that, but of course it's not evidence if it's not, you know, validated, if it's not
Absolutely.
You know, paranormal.
Absolutely. So other than that, and whatever you saw in the video with the REM pod and such, nothing really happened much. And there's a lot of times we'll go out to a place where nothing does happen.
Right.
And it doesn't
Not
mean
quite.
that it's not haunted. It just, of
Oh,
course, means
absolutely.
that it's not active at that point.
Yeah.
Another analogy that I like to use, if you're sitting out there and there's a storm coming through and you look up at the sky for about 15 minutes, you may not see any lightning.
Right.
But if you sit there out there all night and you sit there and watch the sky, you're more likely to see some lightning.
Absolutely.
You know, so
Absolutely.
it may not. It's not that it's not happening. It's just that it's not happening when we're there. That little window
Right.
of time. Now, as far as the family that lives in the apartment, they did move out. They were
Right.
literally, we investigated on a Saturday. They were moving out on a Monday, and the reason for you might be like, why is that there an investigation if you're moving out?
Right.
The reason is because they were concerned about someone moving in after them and having to deal with this activity.
Yes.
Another thing that they were concerned with, and I've seen this a lot of times when people are moving, they're experiencing activity, they're concerned that it's going to follow them. So they wanted to try this to see if we could get any answers,
Yeah.
to see if we could find out what it was to help them, to make sure it's not going to attach itself to them, and also make sure that it's not going to be bothering the people that
Bothering
move in.
someone, yeah.
I don't believe it would attach itself to them,
No.
but I do believe it's coming from that apartment complex,
Yeah.
and the people that move in there next, they may experience something.
They
Although
could.
a lot of times, some of this stuff, people would write it off. You know,
Right.
they may hear a thump in the night or a knock on the wall, and they may just not paying attention to it.
Yeah, it is an apartment complex.
Absolutely.
Lots of noise, yeah.
And if they don't have surveillance cameras that are running all the time, then they may miss some stuff too. Some of the orbs
Absolutely.
that float through and such, and kind of get you to look at it and see if there's anything more to it.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. So the people that come in after them, they may or may not claim that it's something, you know, paranormal, or it could be that if there is a spirit there, that it's just not interested in that particular family that moves in after them.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. But we want to show you what's out there. We want to show you the reports, the investigation.
Right.
And if there's no evidence, we're going to tell you there's not any evidence.
Yeah.
Until next time, I want to thank everybody for watching. I'm Jeff.
And I'm Linda.
And remember, there's much more to see in the dark.